Fox News does not like the idea of violence. In fact, they think that politics today has, of course, gotten too violent, and they don't want anyone out there to glorify violence. But we got to put a little asterisk by that claim, because the violence that Fox News hosts were denouncing this past weekend wasn't the violence that is putting children in coffins. It wasn't the violence that occurred on January 6, 2021. It was the so-called violence of the 3 Tennessee state lawmakers who protested gun deaths in their state. 2 of them, of course, were expelled. You had Justin Jones and Justin Pearson, both expelled. The third member, of course, the white one, was not. But Fox News host, very obscure Fox News host, Cheryl Casone, came on the air this weekend and said this.
Decided that she was going to embrace the violence that we saw on the floor of the legislature. Shame on those politicians, by the way, all 3 of them. What gets me now with Harris and Biden as well in particular, he's going to host them at the White House? Are you kidding me? That's what, I mean, this politics should not be about violence, full stop, no matter what side of the aisle you are on. But for them to actually now glorify the anger and the ridiculousness that we have seen from the Tennessee state legislature and what happened on the floor, it's just sad. It makes me very, very sad. How about making...
Shame on those politicians, she says. Shame on Biden for inviting them to the White House, glorifying this violence, as she called it. Violence. Now, I don't know if you've watched the video, Miss Casone, if that's how you say your name. I honestly don't care if it's not. I hope it's not. You don't deserve to have your name pronounced properly because you're completely misrepresenting what happened in order to justify the racism of the Tennessee Republicans in that body that expelled the 2 members. That's what you're doing. Because I noticed when you were talking about violence there, you didn't mention the 3 9-year-olds that were slaughtered in Tennessee. You didn't mention them. That's violence. You didn't mention the 3 school employees that were also slaughtered. That's violence. You didn't mention January 6th. You didn't mention the other Republican lawmakers in that chamber that have been accused of things like sexual harassment, violating campaign finance laws. You didn't mention those people who don't get expelled. You just say that, my God, we had 2 unruly black people, and that's just violence. Speaking loudly with a megaphone, in her view, is violence. Yeah, I think we all know what you really mean by violence, right? You don't like black people speaking out. Why don't you just say it? Why don't you just say it? Right? I think that's what we ought to start pushing these Fox News hosts to say. And I think if anybody on the left, anywhere on the left, if you go on Fox News and you don't push these a-holes to say what they really mean, then you have failed. And I know there's quite a few people on the left that go on Fox News regularly. I know you don't want to, piss them off because then they won't invite you and then you lose what little bit of clout you have. But yes, I'm going to loop you into this because you're going on the network and you're not pushing back and saying, why don't you just say the word you want to say? Why don't you just want to point out that you don't like when black people get a little too loud? Why don't you point out exactly the difference between the protesters who were expelled and the one who wasn't? If you're not doing that when you go on Fox News, then you are wasting your opportunity and you are giving that platform everything that they want. Because we can clearly see what is going on with these hosts. They won't say it out loud, but we all know exactly what they're talking about. Ring of Fire has fresh content 7 days a week, so if you want to be reminded about it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell to be notified every time a new video goes up.